What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. This is a really quick kind of PSA video because if you're like me and have a really messy stash, 149 out of 150, it's going to take me a huge amount of time to do some swapping around because I'm really worried that tomorrow people might lose mods. Before we get into it though, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Right, okay, so the live stream for Project Resolve, which starts tomorrow along with Year 5 Vanguard, has just happened. This is all very good and all very cool, but there is one huge system update tomorrow that we didn't kind of see in the PTS, and that's going to be the new way that skill mods are going to be handled. I asked the question a good few times in the live stream and unfortunately it wasn't picked up, but really what I wanted to know was, are these, is this system going to be, an account based system, or is it going to be an individual character based system? So as it works right now, as with any mods, we can put them in our stash and we can switch them between characters. Now that might not sound like a big deal, but imagine this as a scenario. If you're like me, you've been playing for a number of years and I have, 4 characters, and on each of them characters I have different builds, because I can't fit anything on my main character anymore. So if I'm playing a lesser build, perhaps like a tank or a healer that I don't play as often as I do as my normal DPS roles, I've built them on another character, and therefore I've transferred the best mods for that build onto that best character. And what I'm worried about is tomorrow when I log in, if I log in on my alt, that's then going to get all them mods binded to that character, and then my main character has got to have to refarm for if it ever needs to use them mods, which is kind of making me feel like now I have to go through a whole process this evening, because unfortunately I tried on Twitter as well, and I'll put that tweet down below in the description. So if you by all means check that tweet before you do anything, because hours after this video has been released there might actually be an update online that or someone in the comments might go, actually this has been covered somewhere else. I checked as many places as I possibly could, cannot see any kind of answer to this, and I would hate for somebody to get max mods locked on an alternative character that they don't use very often, or they perhaps just use for storage, when really they want them on the main. Because what Daria did mention in the live stream was that when you log in, you're automatically going to get the printer filament for all the duplicate mods or the mods that are lower down that you don't need. So that's something else to take into consideration, that if you're maxed on printer filament, it might be worth using a bit, because otherwise it's probably going to drop on the floor and you probably then lose it anyway. Unless you log in with an alt and you're not using shared materials, then you can collect it that way, but then that brings a whole other host of problems, because if that's got max mods on that character, they might get binded to that character. Now that's not a problem if they're going to be account based. We have a lot of examples in the game where things can be account based and where things can be character based. For instance, if you look at expertise, if you do any expertise on your skills, that actually counts across all of your characters, and that's actually a really good example, because you can do expertise at level 40 and have a level 30 character and it gets the entire expertise boost. It's really good for running New York characters. It's excellent. But then we have other things in the game. For instance, like if you expertise a weapon, you've got to transfer that in your stash. It doesn't go across, all them weapons. It doesn't go across all your characters. For instance, like your specialization weapons, they're all character based. They're not account based. So we got multiple different things in the game which class as character based and account based, and there was no real indication of what this was going to be. So I'm going to unfortunately do my usual tonight. It's the job I hate the most when we come to the end of a season. I'm going to do my stash maintenance, but also, as well as doing my stash maintenance, I'm going to move over all of my skill mods onto my main character, just so that when I log in tomorrow, I know for a fact that that character is going to get them all binded to them. And it's just an absolute bonus at that point if it turns out that they are, account based. But it does kind of take that one step further, because we really don't know enough about how this system is going to work. So when I talked about it just before, if we've got duplicates or lesser duplicates, they're going to get turned into printer filament. So if they're going to get turned into printer filament, then why not put them on your alternative characters? Because if it's not going to be account based, at least them other characters will have some kind of version of a mod. So for instance, if we looked at my shield mods here, you can see this one here. If we scroll into them, so these holster regeneration is max, deflected damage is max. I've no duplicates in here, but let's just for, you know, this video, say pretend I had a 5 and a 4, you know, because obviously sometimes people collect multiple versions for multiple things, stacking them and things like that. Then at least my main character could have the 5 and my second character could then have the 4. I don't want the printer filament. I want the best result for each one of my characters. I am kind of just hoping it's just account based and we don't have to, you know, I'm needlessly worrying. But I'm also now worrying that I'm going to log in tomorrow and I'm just going to lose mods that are going to get scrapped straight into printer filament. And there could have been mods that could have been on my other characters, you know, and then I could have, you know, max mods on my alternative characters that I heal on once in a lifetime. But I want the max library on my main character first. It's just like when you're filling out your stat based library in the game, you always want, you know, the best stats to be on your main character first, and you work on your other ones afterwards. So the answer is I just don't know. And if you guys do know, put the answers in the comments down below. Patches and patch day is never a smooth ride with the Division, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to make this video, get ahead of the game and just kind of organize my mods, organize my stash, and you know, then if whatever happens tomorrow, hopefully I'm in a good place, and hopefully anyone else that watched this video is also in a good place, and it pays dividends to us just to have these mods organized until we know exactly how the system works, because there's not going to be an easy way of going back. It'll just be, you know, go and farm them, go and farm a new set, go and farm a new max mod. And you know, as we know, you know, max mods are not always the easiest to come by. Especially, I'm looking at you, although not affected by this change tomorrow, Mr. Damage to Target out of cover. There was one other thing that I will mention as well. They kind of asked, and I'll, you know, just check in with Yannick's socials whether it turns up tomorrow or not. We're going to find out tomorrow anyway. But Yannick did assume that this is going to stop the ability of being able to share mods with your teammates. Skill mods, by the way, when I say mods, this is all about skill mods only. Because obviously now they'll drop into this new library system. So I guess that when they drop, you would just get the printer filament for it anyway, if it's a lower version than what you've already got. If you've not got max, if it's lower, you're just going to, it's going to deconstruct and you're going to get the printer filament perhaps. I don't know, but he certainly didn't seem to think that you were going to be able to share them anymore. But checking with his socials, he said he wasn't 100% on that. And like I said, I'll put my tweet down below in the description so that, you know, you're going to be, I'm going to release this at 6 PM UK time. The patch will probably be live around 11 AM tomorrow, but it'll go down from, you know, around 8:30 AM UK time is when it usually goes down. So you've got to, you know, you've got 6 or so hours till you get to midnight before it gets super late, just to get your mods organized, just in case we don't know the answer, and hopefully you don't lose any. That's going to be it for the video. I've ranted on for a long time, but hopefully I made it kind of crystal clear. You know, that basically obviously there's a few scenarios here where if they are going to just deconstruct themselves, if you've got them on alternative characters because you just needed stash space or whatever, there's maybe a few scenarios here where this could go terribly wrong tomorrow and your main character could suffer. So like me, I'm going to get myself organized now. That's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Check out my previous videos. There's a brand new vendor coming to the game. Definitely worth checking that one out. And I will see you all for what will hopefully be a non-messy patch day tomorrow. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.